What's up, Heat fans? Welcome to Trade Deadline Day. I am Nick Roloff as we are here live 2 hours before the trade deadline, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, February 5th. And we will cover all NBA moves that have went down, all moves that will go down over the next 2 hours, and where things stand with the Miami Heat. Obviously, if you are not aware, we will make you aware. Giannis Antetokounmpo is no longer on the table for Miami. It was announced about an hour ago, around noon Eastern Time, that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to keep Giannis through the trade deadline. I'm sure they will revisit a potential trade in the offseason, but at least as of right now, there is no Giannis trade that will happen. So Miami has some options. If you have not seen, I've been very active on social media, which is why you follow me at Nick_Roloff. But I've been very adamant that Miami should pivot to Ja Morant. He is going for a cheap price point, or they need to sell assets like veterans Andrew Wiggins and Norman Powell. This Heat team, without a major upgrade like a guy like Giannis, is not going to go anywhere. They are going to be a play-in team and a first-round playoff exit like they have been the past couple of years. And to me, staying in this mediocrity is maybe the most infuriating thing the Heat could do. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. I need a clear vision from this front office. And right now, I don't have one. The vision is this: we're staying in mediocrity. I don't like it. So we either need to trade our veterans to get future assets to help us pursue trades in the offseason or next deadline, or you need to go out and get Ja, make a change, make a splash, buy low on a high talent guy. Staying where we are, staying pat, is an absolute travesty. It cannot happen. And if it does happen, I will have some choice words for Pat Riley in this Heat front office. That is for sure. But welcome in, Heat fans. Appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us here on today's show. Shout out your city for me down in the comments section. We got almost 300 people watching. Where are the real ones watching from? Where is everybody at? Where is everybody at today? Where is everybody at today? Let me see where the real ones at. We got Apachito in the building. We got Michael. We got Hershey. We got Big Mike. We got Scar in West Palm Beach, North Miami Beach. We got Atlanta, Georgia for IMAX. We got North Carolina, Boca Raton, Ireland, Randy, Edwin, Pat, Ron Brown. No, Ron Baker. I don't know why I said Ron Brown. I'm tripping. Shout out to everybody in the building. It feels like Miami isn't going to do anything. I hate to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. It just feels like this is where it's heading. And should it surprise anyone? Like, this is the same old Miami Heat. We do this shit every year, man. I'm sick of it. We get our hopes up. We get connected to people. And then we don't make any moves. Like, it's just so exhausting. Like, let me know how y'all are feeling. Like, I'm sure you guys are upset just like I am. Like, it's just so tiring to see us do the same thing over and over and over again. It's gross, man. It's just gross, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. And so, like, my stock in the Miami Heat right now might be as low as it's ever been, dude. Seriously. I just am so frustrated with it all. I wish I wasn't, but I am. I wish I wasn't, but I am. I see. What's up, Miami Heat? What's up, brother? We got calf injuries. Yeah, I get it. Giannis had calf injuries. I don't care. Guy's a top 3 player in the league, man. Top 3 player in the league. I'm so tired of this team. It's exhausting. It is. It is hard to really be optimistic about where this team is going because we're just stuck in the middle. We are. We're just stuck. We're just stuck. We can't get the big fish. Our front office isn't forward-thinking enough and proactive enough to go out and make a trade to improve the future by getting assets. Like, It's just so annoying watching this team run in circles, what it feels like every year of going in to the deadline, but not actually making any moves. It's so incredibly frustrating. Well, we're going to continue to have you covered on everything trade deadline related. We're going to start looking through some old trades that have happened in the last 48 to 72 hours, but we got to tell you about the sponsor on today's live show, and that is Prize Picks. Today's live show is brought to you by Prize Picks. The big game is here on Sunday, and if you want to get on the last football game of the season, get started today, and you can get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. There are so many great features on Prize Picks. All you do is pick more or less than at least 2-player stat projections, and you can cash in. Injury reboots is one that I love. If a player gets hurt in the first half and doesn't return in the second half, that player won't make your lineup lose. It just gets removed, and the rest of your healthy players continue on. There's also early payouts, so if one of your players gets off to a hot start, you may now be able to cash out before the game even finishes. They have weekly specials. They have daily specials. How about this special? And it is a doozy. Max discount in the big game. Just pick more on half a passing yard for Patriots quarterback Drake May. Pair that up with another stat projection, and if you get that correctly, you can cash in. Join me and the millions of others on Prize Picks. Download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Appreciate Prize Picks for sponsoring today's stream. Shout out to my guy Axie, who got the super chats kicked off today. $2. I'm getting a gyro for dinner if we land Giannis. Well, Axie, start figuring out some other dinner plans. Giannis Antetokounmpo is not going to happen. The Bucks indicated to teams today that they are no longer going to trade Giannis. They're keeping him through the deadline. Now, where it ultimately goes from here in the offseason is a story for a different day, but I think this is something that shouldn't surprise Heat fans. You saw the Warriors pivot and trade Jonathan Kuminga last night, Trace Jackson-Davis last night. You saw the Timberwolves trade for Ayu Dosunmu this morning, and now the Bucks just made it official. And I'll say this, I do appreciate Milwaukee from a sense doing it so early because they did give Miami 3 hours to look elsewhere on the trade market to maybe make a Ja Morant trade, dealing away Andrew Wiggins, dealing away a Norman Powell potentially. We'll see what the Heat do. Probably nothing, because that's how pessimistic I am right now about this Heat team and front office. But we'll cover the latest in the NBA and over the next 2 hours, especially the rumors. There is some rumors surrounding Miami. I will be honest there. There's been some buzz between Miami and Indiana. Not sure what that would look like, but maybe Bennedict Mathurin could be coming to Miami. Mathurin is a player that we talked about actually on a show probably about 3 weeks ago as a sneaky low-level trade target for the Heat. Last year of his rookie contract, restricted free agent this offseason, athletic scoring wing. Now, what would Miami give up for Bennedict Mathurin? That I have absolutely no clue. But Jake Fisher alluded to a conversation between Miami and Indiana. Greg Sylvander of 5 Reasons Sports Network has been alluding to some Indiana-Miami conversations. So curious to see what that might ultimately come to. Probably nothing, but we'll see if any trade happens over the next 2 hours for the Miami Heat. Pigeon Base with a $5 super chat. Shout out to Pigeon Base. Heat are known for making what the media calls trash into their biggest regret of what could have been. Go get Ja Morant. I'm with you. I would, if I'm Miami, try to get Ja. Now, I don't know what the price point on Ja is. It was rumored to lower over the last week or so, especially ever since they traded Jaren Jackson Jr. How low is it? I'm not sure. I floated this idea out on our morning video today. Let me know your thoughts on this hypothetical, by the way. What if, because it's rumored that the Grizzlies are trying to get rid of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and or Brandon Clark in this deal, what if the Heat acquired Ja Morant and KCP? Ja makes 39, KCP makes 21. KCP makes $20 million next year as well. He's been abysmal. So that's about $59 in money coming into Miami. Both players under contract next season. Ja more than next season. He's got 2 years left on his deal. What if the Heat took in Ja and KCP and they traded Hero and Terry Rozier to the Grizzlies? Hero and Rozier combined for about 57. Like I mentioned, Morant and KCP combined for about 60. So you take on $2.5, $3 million in extra salary. You swap Rozier for KCP, basically. You swap Hero for Morant. But how about this? You also get a first-round pick in return. Because when you go back to the trade between Memphis and Orlando for Desmond Bane, one of the reasons why the Grizzlies got 5 first-round picks is because they got an extra first-rounder for taking on Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's contract. Could Miami get a first-round pick? Grizzlies have 17 of them right now to take on KCP's contract next year. So Ja, KCP, and a first for Hero and Rozier, I would do that. I think I would do that. I don't know if the Grizzlies would even want Hero, but I'm just floating that idea for the Heat fans. If that was on the table, Ja, KCP, and a first for Hero and Rozier, are you doing it? I would, I think. I would. Exactly, King Falcon. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm optimistic. That's why I would be in on it, I think. Yeah, I mean, some of the same concerns about Tyler Hero could be said about Ja and KCP, but I don't know where Hero and the Grizzlies stand. Is that a player they could be interested in? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it is. You'd have to ask. I don't know the answer to that. We got over 500 people watching and in the building. Shout out to all the legends here on today's show so far. If you haven't already, help me out. Hit that like button. We got 500 people watching, yet we only got 55 likes. We need to get the like number up here. The bosses are asking for it. We have 60 likes now. We need to get to at least 120. I mean, that should be very doable considering we have 500 people in the building. Should be very doable. Come on. Let's get 60 more likes right now. Let's get 60 more likes as we're here live. We've had you covered this entire trade deadline with everything Giannis, Ja Morant. We'll see if anything comes to fruition here. Oh, we're almost over 100 likes. Appreciate the Heat fans responding here. You guys are legends. You guys are legends. Sling Cat, you were in the building for the last Heat game? Oh, bad game. Bad game. Probably a fun time celebrating the 06 team, but certainly not a good game. Wow, you guys came through. Appreciate y'all. Up to 140 likes. Legendary stuff there. I'll leave you guys alone here. We got a couple super chats. Today's super chat menu as we wait for some deals to come in. As we got a $20 super chat from my guy Anointed that will flash on screen in a second. If you want to get on the live show with your thoughts on the Heat, the front office, any questions, any wonderings about what's next for Miami, Super Chat guarantees you a spot on the show. $5 we spin the wheel. $10 I rep 10 push-ups. And $20 gets you into the Heat Report Hall of Fame. And we do a beer bong. How about that? So we're going to get Anointed in the Hall of Fame again. One of the legends here at the channel. Appreciated you. We'll get that Super Chat flashed up. But that's today's menu as we're live here for the next 2 hours plus. We'll be live a little bit through the trade deadline as well. Probably 15, 30 minutes after, unless the Heat make a move. Heat make a move for Ja Morant or something, we'll be live a lot longer. Appreciate the 2 people that just super chatted. We'll get that on screen here in a second. But I do want to talk about some of the trades that went down. Let's start with everything that has happened today. The first trade of the day ultimately went down between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Chicago Bulls, if I'm not mistaken. Is this updated? Here we go. Yeah. It was between the Bulls and Timberwolves when the Minnesota Timberwolves acquired Sumo. Here's the trade. Had to find in the graphic system here. Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 second-round picks went to Chicago. Sumo and Julian Phillips went to Minnesota. I know that's a lot of second-round picks and a former top 15 lottery pick in Rob Dillingham, but I'd assume who's been really good, and I actually really like that pivot move for Minnesota. The Timberwolves have been a team linked to potentially trading for Ja Morant in the past. Now, with them making this move this morning, getting Ayo Dosunmu, I doubt that the Timberwolves are a threat to make a trade for Ja Morant. Miami, I think, would be in a driver's seat for Morant if they wanted to pony up some assets. We'll see if that comes to fruition. The Lakers and Hawks made a trade. We just saw Luke Kennard the other day. He was torching us. He's a good player, man. I think he's incredibly underrated. He is shooting 50, 90 this year practically. The Lakers get him. The Hawks receive Gabe Vincent and a second-round pick. Interesting deal there. Right after Giannis Antetokounmpo was announced that he was not going to be traded this deadline, we saw the Bucks make a separate trade with the Phoenix Suns, acquiring Nick Richards and Nigel Hayes-Davis. Didn't know he was even playing in the league, former Wisconsin Badger. Phoenix got Cole Anthony and Amir Coffey in return. And then a real couple low-level trades here. Chris Boucher goes to the Utah Jazz. The Celtics receive cash considerations. And then the most recent trade, the Knicks. It's eventually a three-teamer because it's Urban Yavasheli to the Bulls for Dalen Terry in 2 seconds, but those second-round picks, Dalen Terry, they reroute to the Knicks, or the Pelicans, excuse me, as the Knicks get a guard, Jose Alvarado. It was also announced that Deuce McBride is going to be injured and could miss the remainder of the regular season. So Jose Alvarado replacing Deuce McBride on the bench of the New York Knicks. Those were all the trades that has gone down today. We'll recap some that went down yesterday here in just 1 second. But let's get to some super chats and then we'll pay them off here. $20 super chat from Anointed. Shout out my guy Anointed. We already got you written down again here on the Hall of Fame board. Appreciate you, my guy. Birthday is always around the deadline, February 6th. Happy early birthday tomorrow, Anointed. Will Pat Riley finally wake up and do something we can look forward to? And if so, what do you think we could get since Giannis off the board, tired of disappointment? Yeah, if I'll say this. If the Heat make a trade in the next hour and 45 minutes, I believe that it would either be to acquire Ja Morant or there's some tea leaves about getting Bennedict Mathurin from the Pacers. I don't know how accurate these reports are or rumors are. Obviously, the Ja stuff has been linked to Miami for a long time. The Mathurin stuff relatively new. I would be intrigued with acquiring Mathurin. I'm not sure what the cost would be, but Mathurin, former top 10 pick, really athletic. He can score the ball. Is he someone that fits Miami's system, doesn't defend at a high level, so there's a concern there. If Miami wanted to make a splash, I don't think Pascal Siakam is on the trade block. I'll tell you what, though. I would trade for Siakam in a heartbeat. That would be a sneaky, really good move. A Bam Siakam front court would be incredibly versatile. Now, that is probably a stretch, but if that is what it's been between Indiana and Miami, I would trade Hero and a couple first-round picks for Siakam, no questions asked. I know that would take us out of the Giannis running and the offseason, but that's just an unlikely scenario now, if we're going to be honest, because now the Lakers can get involved in the offseason. Maybe the Thunder, Rockets, or Spurs turn their attention to Giannis in the offseason. The Knicks could have an offer. Minnesota's offer will be better. It's just going to be really difficult to get Giannis this offseason because there's going to be more of a market for him with more teams involved. So if you could get a guy like Siakam for Hero and 2 firsts, I would do it because Siakam's really good. Starting lineup of Bam, Wiggins, Siakam, Powell, Davion Mitchell. That's interesting. So they'll have all your young guys off the bench like Larson, Jaquez, Jovic, Ware. Maybe you'd have to sweeten that deal as well and send Jaquez to Indiana. I don't think I would be that opposed to that. But keep an eye on Pascal Siakam. Maybe that's something that could come to fruition. I don't know if he's available from the Pacers, but if he was, I would certainly be intrigued. Shout out Terrence Hill with the $5 super chat. Appreciate you for the $5 super chat. And then CTRL with the 5. if the Heat don't get Giannis, we need to trade Bam and the rest of the veterans on this team and get what we can. We are prolonging the inevitable. I don't disagree to a certain degree. I don't think I would trade Bam. And I know people are going to say that I'm just a Bam supporter, Bam stand, and that's why I don't want to trade him. One, I don't think Miami would, so I don't really want to waste my breath talking about it because I do firmly believe there's no world Pat Riley and Spoelstra would trade Bam because we've seen Miami not want to trade anybody. They won't trade Andrew Wiggins and Norman Powell. So you think they're going to trade Bam? No, they're not going to do that. So that's why I don't really waste my time thinking about it. I want to obviously trade Hero, Powell, and Wiggins. If you can get 3 first-round picks amongst those 3 in return, I think that's best for the team. I think that's best. You trade those 3 and get a first-round pick for each of them in return, potentially. That's something I absolutely would consider and probably would want to happen because I want more, I guess, bullets in the chamber, if you will, for a trade in the future or in the draft. So, yeah, that's kind of where I am at right there. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Pedro with a $2 super chat. Miami has no sense of direction. That's on Pat. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've said it a lot on today's live show already that the lack of direction for the Miami Heat is incredibly frustrating, and I'm actually sick of it. I really am. I'm so done wasting my time getting my hopes up and my excitement level up for this team when the front office is never going to strike while the iron's hot. And yeah, you know what? They can change my thought process. In the next hour and a half, if they pull off a Ja Morant trade or they acquire some young, intriguing guy or pick a direction and trade Wiggins, trade Powell to accumulate draft capital, I'll give a round of applause and say, yeah, all right, I'm excited about this organization finally picking a direction. I just don't see them doing it. Because we've never seen it in the past. And it's so annoying, man. It's so annoying. I'm so sick and tired of being a play-in mediocre team. I said it on the morning video. So if you haven't watched it, you can go back and watch it if you want. I would rather be picking within the top 10 of the NBA draft in the next 3 years than do what we are currently doing. Because and Coop was telling me that I was wrong on this. What would you guys rather do? Pick in the top 10 the next 3 years in the hope of landing an all-NBA level talent to rise you to the top of the Eastern Conference again, or be in the play-in and first-round mediocre exits for the next 3 years? Which one would you rather have? Because I would rather lose and maybe get a high-level all-NBA guy rather than just be mediocre for the next 3 years. That's me, though. That's me, though. That's just me. Another $5 super chat. Shout out Ray Blank. Shout out to you consistently making Heat content. Listen, I got you. As much as this team frustrates me, I fucking hate the Bucks. Apparently Shams just said on NBA Today that the Bucks believe they can build a contender around Giannis this summer with their draft picks. I hate the Bucks. Honestly, I'm starting to get mad at Giannis. They're just so frustrating, dude. They're just so frustrating. And you know what? The Bucks as a franchise, I hate them. They middled with their business, Miami's business of getting Dame. I hope nothing but misery on Milwaukee Bucks fans and that organization. I hope nothing but misery for them. We're still going to be here making Heat content, even though I'm incredibly disappointed by what this team is doing and where this is going. I'm always going to be here bringing y'all because, unfortunately, I care too much about this team. Shout out Brandy with a 2. I want Iguodala. Listen, I'll give Pat credit. Probably the best move that I've seen at the trade deadline in a long time. They traded Victor Oladipo, but that really never paid off a couple years later. But trading Justice Winslow and I forget the rest of that package, but trading Justice Winslow to the Grizzlies to get Andre Iguodala and Dre Crowder during the 2019 season, that was one of the best trades in Heat history because without making that trade, there is no world Miami propels to the NBA Finals that year. That was a great trade. Unfortunately, ever since then, there's been nothing but horrible trades. Nothing but horrible. And it's so hard to watch. It is. It is. All right, we're going to pay off those super chats here in just 1 second, but let me know. Get the chat fired off. Will the Heat make a trade today? Will they make a trade today? Yes or no? It's also our live pin poll. 56% say no. I lean no as well. JH no. Game Collector no. Naz no. Jag no. Big Mike says yes. Toxic says no. Said Wiggs might be gone. Let's see if anything let's see if any rumors are out there. Let me reopen the Twitter. I've got my Twitter pulled up if news happened, but I haven't seen any rumors. I see a lot of no. So 57% of the live poll says no. I'd say about 90% of the chat says no. Let me see here. Brett Siegel's a clown. He says the Grizzlies want a first-round pick for Ja. I tell you what, if the Grizzlies actually want a first-round pick for Ja, nobody's trading for Ja. I don't really know if I trust Brett Siegel reports, though, to be fair. So, ugh, so bad, man. I don't see anything else outside of that Brett Siegel report. Yeah, so that's the only thing I see right now when it comes to rumors around Miami. There's been some linkage between Indiana and the Heat, but hour and a half from the deadline. Ethan J. Skolnick said about 20 minutes ago when I went live, watching the Clippers and Pacers, but that has nothing to do with Miami. I've heard that the Pacers are looking to maybe get a trade done with the Los Angeles Clippers for Ivica Zubac. That's what I've heard. Now, maybe the Heat would be involved in that trade as a third team in some regard. Doubt it, though. Doubt it. But I have seen and heard that Ivica Zubac to the Pacers is something that the NBA world should be monitoring. All right. We did get a bunch of super chats, so we have a lot to pay off. Let's get the beer bong out of the way. Shout out to Anointed. We got the fruit punch Happy Dads today. How about it? How about it? Crack that. By the way, over a new package, the little USA Texas version. How about it? How about it? Someone says you're tripping if we trade Ware for Siakam. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would. You want to know why? Because I don't think Kel'el Ware will ever be better than what Pascal Siakam is right now. Feel very good saying about that. Feel very good saying that. Fix this water bottle. Shout out Happy Dad. I would absolutely trade for Siakam. No hesitations about it. No hesitations about it. Shout out to you. Shout out Anointed. Shout out Anointed. I'll take. I don't get why y'all think Kel'el Ware is going to be all that, dude. I really don't. Like, I don't think he's good. Let me rephrase. I think he's good. But in the terms of you guys, y'all believe that this dude's going to be an all-NBA level center. What makes you think that's in the realm of outcomes for Kel'el Ware? He doesn't play more than 20 minutes for the Heat because him and our coach don't get along, and this is not a first-time issue. There were reasons why he didn't play at Oregon under Dana Altman, one of the best coaches in college basketball. Lazy, no motor on defense. There was also rumors of him having that same issue with Mike Woodson at Indiana. But y'all want to blame the coach. Y'all want to blame the coach for the reason why Kel'el Ware can't play. I'm going to guess it's the player that's had a history with the same exact issue he has right now. But for whatever reason, just because he's 7 foot and can shoot threes, y'all are obsessed and think he's going to be an MVP guy. You guys wouldn't even trade him for KD. That pissed me off. I wish I was GM. We would have KD and Norman Powell right now. We got some wheel spins to do. He's unable to get a rhythm. More excuses. 5 push-ups. We got a couple more wheel spins. There's 5 push-ups on the board. Oh, I don't know who this is for. We got a Hall of Fame spot getting put away. Who was the second $5 super chat today? Pigeon Base was number 1. Second was Terrence Hill. So Terrence Hill is getting into the Hall of Fame. Listen, I hope Ware is good. But for y'all to say you wouldn't trade him for a certified all-NBA level, all-star guy is absurd to me. It's absurd. I would have traded him for KD in the offseason. I was one of the only people that said I would trade Ware for KD. And I think Miami would be better off if they did that. Would we all agree with that? That the Heat would be a much better team and a much better chance to contend if they acquired KD this offseason? I think people would. Shout out Terrence Hill. Couple more wheel spins here. So I don't know, man. I'm not prospect hugging. Not prospect hugging. Like Drive, we'll do that one here in a second. We'll do a 4th wheel spin, and then we'll continue on and get back to this later as we get more super chats. Shout out Maddie and his cat Precious. Named after Precious Achua. Ooh, another like the video. Rough break for you guys. Rough break for you guys. But I do owe 5 push-ups. And we'll do that here as we get up another super chat. Oh, we got a... What is this super chat here? What level of... What money is this? This is 17... What is that? This comes out to about, I think, $2 in American. What is it? Anyone know what DKK is? I have no clue. Well, Major, you can think that, and I'm just going to be here telling you that's not going to happen, which is what I try to tell people. Listen, you guys can think that's in the best interest of the team to trade away everybody and have everybody on the trade block, including Bam. I'm just here to tell you the Heat front office would never do it. Heck, I don't even think they would do Andrew Wiggins or Norman Powell. We have Ja Morant information. ESPN's Tim McMahon reported today on the NBA Now show, a team that has been linked to Ja Morant wants Memphis to attach picks to Ja Morant to get a deal done. So let me hear that again. A team that has been linked to Ja Morant wants Memphis to attach picks to Ja to get a deal done. I will almost guarantee that's the Miami Heat. I will almost guarantee that is Miami. Is that not the most Pat Riley, Andy Ellisberg type shit? To say, yeah, we want Ja, but because of his off-the-court concerns, injury history, and contract, y'all need to send us a pick. That is 1,000% Miami. 1,000%. No question about it in my mind. No question. Well, we got 5 push-ups to do here. Oh, every $10 super chat's 10 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who else is bringing it like the Heat report? We got the latest Heat news, rumors, reports. But we also drink and we also do some push-ups. How about it? How about it? You're saying the deadline's boring? I disagree. I mean, today has been very boring. Sure, I'll give you that. Only Ayu Dosunmu being traded. But if you count the entire cycle of this trade deadline of like the last month, Trae Young to the Wizards, Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Jazz, Kuminga traded, Harden traded the Cavs, Garland to the Clippers. Like, there's been some pretty shocking and fun trades. Just because nothing Miami did, obviously, it's been boring. But in the NBA landscape, it's been kind of fun. Certainly know last year where you got Luka Doncic in the crew. $5 from Truth. Coach Spo obviously doesn't think he's going to be much. Spo ain't going anywhere. Speaking on Kel'el Ware. Yeah, like, that's my point. Like, that's the crazy part to me, is that Heat fans will legitimately take Kel'el Ware's side over Eric Spoelstra's side. In terms of the, why isn't he playing, who should be moved on. Like, there are legit fans that want Eric Spoelstra fired to unlock Kel'el Ware. It's brain dead to me. It's brain dead to me. Taking a 21-year-old side who has given you lackluster effort defensively and on the glass is just crazy. It's crazy. Another $5 super chat. King Falcon, shout to y'all. F the KD trade. I wish we traded Hero for Donovan Mitchell. Another trade Pat Riley fumbled. Why? Pat Riley didn't trade for Donovan Mitchell because he didn't want to give up all of his assets to try to save for KD back in 2022. The 2022 offseason, that summer. And then also didn't want to give up everything because he was like, oh, Giannis is going to be available. It's just fucking circle and circle and circle. And I'm sick of this organization. I'm sick of this front office. Sick of this front office. I remember when Barry Jackson said they're trying to free up cap space for 2027 free agency. Yeah, nobody goes to free agency anymore. This front office is ridiculous, man. Major, that's not true. If you're good enough to play, you're good enough to play. For example, the Minnesota Timberwolves traded up in the draft to draft Rob Dillingham, same draft class, by the way, 2024, traded up to get him inside the lottery. And guess what? He was so bad they didn't play him, and now he's traded to Chicago. That is not true. If you're good enough to play in the NBA, you're good enough to play. It's simple as that. You think coaches actually want to lose games? No. They play who they think gives them the best chance to win. And Eric Spoelstra believes Kel'el Ware doesn't give him the best chance to win because he's been lazy on defense and lazy on the glass. I will take Eric Spoelstra's side on this situation 1,000 times out of 1,000. We've seen the history of Kel'el Ware at Indiana and Oregon in college. We've seen the history of Coach Eric Spoelstra. I'll take the history of Coach Spo. Oh, man. 600 people watching. If you haven't already, help me out. Hit that sub button here. We're 166 subscribers away from a big milestone. 27K. Can we get there today? Is all 600 people subscribed in this chat right now? I don't know. I don't think so. I'll also mention this. We are in sub-only mode, which means you could only comment in the live chat if you are subscribed. So, you know what? Let me get a shout-out train rolling. If you are subscribed to the channel, type me. If you're subscribed to the channel, type me. I'll give some shout-outs to the people in the chat. And if you want to get a shout-out, subscribe and then type me. Shout-out D3, Amari, Thomas, Big Mike, Trini, Gilbert, Stickman, Noah, Bryce, Angelo, Spy Guy, Anai, Jay Perks, Jiv, Mario, Russell, Angry, 305, Xander, Bobby, Dash, Mr. Nice Kicks, Vic, Trini Boy, D3, MJ, Anna, shout out Wood, Hunter, The Rock, Dash. Rodney, I don't know basketball. Well, what makes you think you know basketball more than I do? Considering I don't want to pull this card because I think a lot of people out there make basketball, but how can you say I don't know basketball when Kel'el Ware has continued to not play? I also get paid to do this. So, I mean, take that for what you will. I'm not going to say everything I say will be right. It's not what I said whatsoever. And you go back to last year, I was one of Kel'el Ware's biggest fans. I said that he had a lot of potential and the Heat need to play him more. But based off what I've seen this season, in his second year, I've been incredibly disappointed. And I don't know why you guys are acting as if you're fine with where he's been at. Have we seen any growth? I don't think we've seen growth. Seriously, it all started in the summer league. The summer league. You watch Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware, based off his rookie year, he should have been putting up 30 and 10 against those G Leaguers in the summer league. What was he doing? Averaging 12 and 12 and shooting 40% from the field. Because he didn't want to be there. He wasn't giving any effort. That was my first red flag. I made multiple videos about it in the offseason in July and August about Kel'el Ware being a major disappointment in the offseason. And we've seen it carry over to the regular season. I see a lot of people saying but do you play Nikola Jovic? Jovic has played, I'd say, less minutes than Ware lately. I mean, obviously the couple games where Ware played like 3 minutes and like 8 minutes, no, outside of that, but like you guys act like Ware is getting DNPs. And I'm not trying to back up Nikola Jovic or Spo for that. Jovic has been awful. Horrible. Michael, tell me what Kel'el Ware has grown this year. Tell me how he's gotten better. Please. I'll hang up and listen. I'll hang up and listen. Because he's been bad on defense and underwhelming in terms of his rebounding, especially when he has to go up against high-energy big men. Just go back to the Knicks game earlier in the year. Remember when he had to get called out by Udonis Haslem on live television from Amazon Prime? His rebounding hasn't improved, and that's how I know I'm concerned you guys haven't watched. You guys look at the rebound per game numbers and think he's gotten better from there. You guys box score watch and then make your assumptions there. Watch the games. We got some super chats to get to here. Gastron, can we move Tyler or Norm or Rozier as expiring for something, or do we have to watch them walk or overpay them? Well, Rozier's going to walk. Unless the Heat make a trade in the next hour and 12 minutes for Ja Morant, Rozier ain't going nowhere. So he's going to be just coming off the books as expiring money. Norman Powell, I don't know what they do with them. Like I have no fucking clue. Do they extend him in the offseason? Maybe. You can't have both him and Tyler Hero. We've seen that already. Like my concern is that they extend Norman Powell and keep Tyler Hero. That's just brutal. Just a brutal potential. Shout out you, Cash, though. Noah, can we get Naji Marshall? Coop said that the Mavs want a first for him. So I say no. Although Naji Marshall has been really, really good this year. Brandy, we are cooked. Shout out Trig. Shout out Brandy. Shout out Trig. Thanks for the super chat. Anai TV, can we get Ja Morant for Rozier, Jovic, call GM? Yeah, possible. It would be like Rozier, Jovic, and Fontecchio. I would do it in a heartbeat. Rozier, Jovic, Fontecchio, and 1 second-round pick. Send it in. Send it in. Pigeon base with a 5. Spo criticism is right, but who else is mentoring or coaching where? Players and staff need to speak up and develop this guys besides Stowe. More is needed. Here's the truth, guys. Do you see the common denominator? You guys are trying to make excuses for this kid. Make excuses. Why? Why are you making excuses for him? Seriously, why? Why is it an excuse train for Kel'el Ware? Just because y'all are fucking fantasizing in having a hard-on for a 7-footer that can shoot threes at an efficient rate? Matt, you are factually incorrect. Oh, so you guys just admit it. You guys are just horny over a 7-footer that can shoot threes. So I get any 7-footer that can shoot threes and y'all meat ride like this? How about y'all take a look at his defensive rotations, his effort? That's the stuff that matters to winning, but y'all don't want to do that. Y'all ignore that. What the hell happened to this timer? How'd this minute thing go away? Fixed it. Need him. Yeah, it's all fun and games until he's getting absolutely worked on the glass and defensively. Like, y'all try, like, guys, with the Heat are a better team with him off the floor. I've tried to tell you guys this, and you guys don't listen. I'll read off the stats here. Watch this. For the people that say the Heat are better with him on the floor defensively, or was the one guy who has absolutely no fucking clue what he's talking about. Watch this, guys. Kel'el Ware, when on the floor for the Miami Heat this year, the Heat have a 111.8 offensive rating and a 117.8 defensive rating. If you can't do math, that is negative 5.9. Negative 5.9 with him on the floor. With Kel'el Ware off the floor, the Heat's offensive rating goes up to 115.2, so improves by about 4. The defensive rating is at 109.5, which means it improves by about 8 ratings. And the Heat with Kel'el Ware off the floor are a plus 5.7. So how in the world are you going to try to tell me and justify that he is better than some others getting minutes and the Heat are worse with him off the floor? Because every single statistical metric says Miami is better with him off the floor. Just going to put that out there. And by the way, I see people say, I'm not defending Jovic. Jovic has been horrible. I just can't get over why people are holding on to Kel'el Ware like this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The guy stinks. Currently, he is not helping the Miami Heat. Because I got 700 people in this goddamn live chat trying to tell me that I'm wrong about someone that statistically is hurting our basketball team. But he's 7 foot and can shoot 40% from 3, so they all have their fucking 4-inch boners on. Anointed. I would like to trade Ware, but see, that's the thing. I don't want to trade Ware unless we are getting a clear upgrade. I'm not trying to get rid of him for nothing. If we could get a Pascal Siakam, a Kevin Durant, an all-NBA guy, absolutely. Anyway, but who can we get for him since he's on a rookie contract? He's too lazy and doesn't have a drive to be great. Like I said, I'm only trading him if you can get an all-NBA or all-star guy in return. I'm not dealing him away for nothing because all the reasons why y'all love him, 21, 7 foot, rebound, athletic, if he plays hard, is why I want to keep him and develop him. But then there's the side where if you can get a clear immediate upgrade, like a Pascal Siakam, yeah, you do it. Trig, the league hates us, we're so cooked. Shout out Trig. I do think there has been some interesting decisions made in the course. Oh, there was a trade. Nets and the Nuggets made a trade. Hunter Tyson. And that's it. Okay. There's been some interesting things that have happened with the Heat in the NBA, that's for sure. Sports Review. I'm taking Spo's side over a 7-footer who can't defend a rebound. We need a Jalen Duren or Zubac besides Bam. I don't agree with that. And a true ball handler like Garland. Now, a true point guard I can get behind that can actually facilitate and score. I like Davion Mitchell, but I don't really think he's the point guard that would be starting on a championship level team. He is a great change of pace point guard that comes off the bench. But starting on a title team, unfortunately, I don't think Davion is that guy. But I don't think we need a big guy like that. I think it's clear Bam is better suited as a center than a power forward. So if you're keeping Bam, I think you just need athletic wings around him. Like, Wiggins is honestly a good fit next to Bam. Need another one, though. I like Paul Larson's fit. I think our issues derive in our starting lineup from our backcourt than anything. Because we've seen struggles defensively from our backcourt as well as offensively at times. $5 from Flavio. Ware can be the best dunker Miami has ever seen, so give him his minutes. He's exciting to watch. Spo should stop bullying him. I can't get over this. Bullying? Unbelievable. I can't tell if you're trolling or not. Bullying. Also, by the way, best dunker Miami has ever seen. He can't hold Derrick Jones Jr.'s jockstrap. Couldn't hold his jockstrap on a dunk contest. Play Ware. I like playing Ware. Oh, the Nets and the Celtics just made another trade? Why have I not seen this on my timeline? Oh, Josh Minott to the Nets from the Celtics. M Sports Review. Dang, I love this, bro. You like see me fired up? Listen, you had the office come over here that right next to me come in here and says, I feel for the last 30 minutes, all I've heard is you argue about Kel'el Ware. And listen, that's what it feels like it's been. That's what it feels like it's been. Unfortunately, there's nothing else to talk about. There's no trades really going down for Miami or in the NBA right now. But I will say this, we got more to come as we approach the top of the hour. We got to tell you about our sponsor again on today's live show, and that is Prize Picks. Today's live show is brought to you by Prize Picks. The big game is here on Sunday, and if you want to get on the last football game of the season, get started today, and you can get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. There are so many great features on Prize Picks. All you do is pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections, and you can cash in. Injury reboots is one that I love. If a player gets hurt in the first half and doesn't return the second half, that player won't make your lineup lose. It just gets removed, and the rest of your healthy players continue on. There's also early payouts, so if one of your players gets off to a hot start, you may now be able to cash out before the game even finishes. They have weekly specials. They have daily specials. How about this special? And it is a doozy. Max discount in the big game. Just pick more on half a passing yard for Patriots quarterback Drake May. Pair that up with another stat projection, and if you get that correctly, you can cash in. Join me and the millions of others on Prize Picks. Download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Appreciate Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Who should the Heat trade for? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say Ja Morant. Is there any other players out there that Heat fans want to go out and trade for? Anybody else? Moak says Siakam. Listen, I'd be like, if Siakam was on the board, I'd be in on that. Lori Marketing, Jazz aren't trading him. Jazz are all in. Trade for Jaren Jackson Jr., they're battling. The 76ers traded Eric Gordon to the Memphis Grizzlies. Trey Murphy, I'd be all in on Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy in the offseason, all in. Sabonis, God no. Devin Booker, he ain't getting traded. Michael Porter Jr., I thought he would have been traded before the deadline, but doesn't seem like he's going to be. Claxton, nah, I'm not in on Claxton. Greek Freak, I wish. Daniel Gafford, nah. No Draymond Green. I'm out on that. Miles Turner, ironically, he would be probably a good fit. Herb Jones in. Rodney thinks I hate Kel'el Ware. I don't. The problem is that you guys hear any pushback on the fact that Kel'el Ware is going to be the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you guys think that person hates him. I just merely tell you that the Heat have been better without him this season. Off the floor, I mean, in terms of their metrics defensively and offensively, and that is construed as hate from you guys. I do not hate Ware. If you want to say this, I hate the people that dick ride Kel'el Ware. All right, I could have a conversation there. But I don't hate Kel'el Ware as a player or a person. I was one of his biggest fans last year. But I am just an objective person who covers this team. And when I see effort that is not suitable for this team, I am going to call them out for it. And you guys say it's hate. I've called out Norman Powell more times than I can count for his lack of defense and inability to pass the basketball as well. I don't hate Norman Powell. I don't hate anybody on the team. I don't hate anyone. Oh. Software went down for a second. Are we back? I think I'm almost back. I can't tell if I'm back or not. This is a problem. I think I'm back. Yeah, I don't know if I ever left, but my screen went black for about 5 seconds, so I didn't know what that meant. Okay, let's catch up on some super chats. Ware for MVP? Never going to happen. CTRL, teams don't like doing business with Pat. I buy into that theory. I think there is a legit possibility that there is animosity from other GMs and front offices when it comes to Pat Riley. Because I think Pat Riley tries to strong-arm these people and almost like throw around his success in the past and say, you have to bow down to me. I do get that could be something that has happened. Marvin, $1 super chat. Appreciate you, Marvin. Gash, Heat Nation, feel your frustration. I'm so frustrated with this front office, the consistent mid. I'm sick of it. I am. Randy, Ware better than Spo? Sure, if that makes you sleep better at night. Stickman, can Jared Allen be on the table? I don't even know why that would be something Miami explores anyway. I don't think that's something Miami should or would explore. Flavio, what is Bam's real value? How many first-round picks? At least 3. I mean, you guys just saw what Jaren Jackson Jr. went for. It would be similar trade. Because Bam is more valued across the league than Jaren Jackson Jr. And I know that for a fact. He is worth at least 3. So, if the Jazz could have got that trade that they offered Memphis for Bam, they would have done it in a heartbeat. But Miami's not trained, as I've tried to tell you guys. Rank Guy. Sup, Rolly? I'm off today. What's up, Rank Guy? How you doing? Enjoy the off day, my friend. Enjoy the off day. M Sports Review with the 5. I don't know if they can get traded, but I think Fox and Garland would be perfect fits with Bam and Norm. I'd also like to see Ochai Agbaji or Jalen Wilson for Nikola Jovic. Sounds like you're a Kansas fan. I don't think it's a coincidence that you named 2 Kansas players. Maybe it is. Jalen Wilson, Ochai Agbaji. Garland is a worse fit than Fox. I've been a De'Aaron Fox fan for a long time. If you remember a year ago, I wanted to trade for De'Aaron Fox. I thought that maybe Miami could swing a 3-team trade where they sent Jimmy Butler somewhere and then trade first-round picks and players to the Kings to get De'Aaron Fox to create a Fox, Hero, Bam trio. But ultimately, he was traded to San Antonio. I've always liked De'Aaron Fox. I've talked about him probably about 5 or 6 times throughout the 3 years doing this channel as a trade target I would like to go after. But not going to be happening anytime soon, that's for sure. M Sports Review, hear me out. Spo is president, Jim Butler is head coach. Wouldn't that be something? Jimmy Butler certainly will not be a coach in his next life. I also have come to the realization, I saw someone else talk about this. I agree. I don't think Eric Spoelstra would be that good as a front office man. And the reason why I say that is because similar to Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg's issue, they have struggled to think forwardly and for the future, right? So would Eric Spoelstra be able to do that as a front office man? you guys get on him so much. Oh, you're talking about Caron Butler. Yeah, that's a big miss on me. M Sports Review. Thanks, Apachita, for pointing that out. Forgot 2 Butlers. I just immediately thought Jimmy. Yeah, anyway. You guys complain about Spoelstra not playing first-round picks, which is fair. I mean, people want to see the young players on the floor. But would he then think forwardly and for the future as a front office man if he can't even do it as the head coach? I don't know. So I actually don't know if Eric Spoelstra would be a good front office executive, if I'll be honest. That's kind of where I've leaned on this, to be truthful with y'all. All right, let's go over some trades here. Let me ask my buddy Trace for something real quick. Hey, Trizzy, do you mind grabbing the Swedish Fish Ghost energy drink in the fridge, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's a can. Had to get a nice little energy drink here. A little caffeine in the afternoon picked me up here. Since I'm basically going to sleep here with no moves being made. But let's go over some trades. We're all cut up. We'll talk about the trades that just went down. All minimal. Hunter Tyson to the Nets. Yeah, I tried one for the first time the other day. It was the sour watermelon one. It was terrific. So now I went back and grabbed 2 more. One for today, one for tomorrow. Oh, yeah. They're like sponsored by whatever brand makes the Swedish Fish, the Sour Patch Kids. They have a collab, obviously, because they have like all their flavors are like after those type of candies. That's good. That tastes like a fucking Swedish Fish, man. That's unbelievable. Hunter Tyson to the Nets for a second-round pick. Former Clemson Tiger there. Nets made another trade. They acquired Josh Minott from the Celtics. TBA on details. We haven't seen that yet. And then the most recent trade, Grizzlies take on the veteran Eric Gordon. And they also get a second-round pick. 76ers and Grizzlies swap there. The veteran lands with the Memphis Grizzlies here. Where am I from? Rochester, New York, originally. Western New York, originally, folks. We did get a $10 super chat. So that means we owe another 10 push-ups. As you see on our super chat menu today, $5 we spin the wheel, $20 we do a beer bong and get you in the Heat Report Hall of Fame, and $10 we do 10 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shout out to the real ones who are hanging out with us and donating to the channel. Listen, it's been an animated show so far. There's a lot of discussion on Kel'el Ware back and forth, but I got to be honest, I've thoroughly enjoyed the last hour and 10 minutes we've had together talking things Heat basketball. Fun, good audience. You guys are intrigued. Now, I do wish that the Heat made a move, but I don't know if that's coming. But let's get into some of the trades that have gone down. Let's go to yesterday's trades, and we'll start with the biggest one, which was the Mavs-Wizards trade here. Anthony Davis dealt to the Washington Wizards amongst Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, Dante Exum, and then Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks goes to Dallas. I was very surprised at the return for Dallas because I was like, 2 first-round picks, A.J. Johnson? That's a pretty solid return for a guy in Anthony Davis who never plays basketball. But the first-round picks are very, very misleading because it is the 2026 Thunder pick, which is going to be either 27, 28, 29, or 30. So it's not that valuable. And then it's a 2030 Golden State Warriors pick that is top 20 protected. So even if it conveys, it's in the last 8 or 9 spots of the draft in 2030. And if it doesn't convey and it gets protected, it becomes second round pick. So the 2 first round picks aren't really that valuable, But interesting trade to say the least. And then I think my favorite under the radar trade so far, the Thunder getting Jared McCain, 16th overall pick in the 2024 draft, in exchange for a first rounder. And then you see a lot of second rounders exchange. Jared McCain, although very limited sample size, was a front runner, the front runner for the Rookie of the Year award just a year ago. But then tears his MCL or meniscus, whatever it was, misses the rest of the year. So, yeah, I like that. High upside, low risk swing. I mean, you say a first round pick, but like they have so many of them, like who cares? So I like that swing. Then our good old friends in Chicago make another trade. There it is. Wow, blockbuster. Clippers and Ivica Zubac traded to the Pacers. Zubac to the Pacers. What did I say an hour ago? That's why you got to stay subscribed. Interesting trade here. Sexton to Chicago. Kobe White, Mike Conley to the Hornets. I think Mike Conley's probably going to get bought out, though. That's my prediction, but we'll see. But the most recent trade coming in here in just 1 second. When it's finalized, we'll let you know the full details. But then the other big trade that happened in the NBA prior to today was late last night. Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield going to Atlanta for Kristaps Porzingis. Well, you know what? Tells me that the Clippers are selling. Is someone going to trade for Kawhi Leonard? Probably not. And it also tells me Pascal Siakam is not on the table. And it also tells me that Miami is probably not making a move because we are lame. Apparently Barry Jackson, I didn't see this, said that the Bucks received everything that they asked for in a trade for Giannis from Miami, but they still didn't take the deal. Tough. Time to let the Giannis thing go. I agree. Barry Jackson said they're still working the phones, trying to make another trade. This was about 30 minutes ago. Yeah. Weird day, man. But the most recent trade, well, we don't have the details yet. Ivica Zubac traded to the Pacers. How about that one, folks? We don't know the details yet, but this one just coming in. Just coming in. Can Miami get a Ja trade done? Maybe. Can they get any trade done? Maybe. Will they? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, we got to flip that. That's wrong. I wonder how many picks he went to. There was rumors out there that the Clippers wanted like 2 first-round picks in return. But what's your one-word reaction to that trade? One-word reaction to the Clippers trading Zubac to the Pacers. Like even the Pacers, who are awful this year, are thinking ahead in trading for Zubac for not this year, but for next year. So they'll have Zubac, Siakam, and Halliburton returning from his his Achilles injury. It's good front office management, man. Yeah, I got no faith in Pat Riley because we've seen no moves in lack of forward thinking for the last 4 years. Last time the Heat made a really good trade was in 2019 for Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala. Oh, I forgot this. The Clippers' first round pick this year is owned by the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they traded away James Harden and Zubac. Oh, God. Yeah, I guess Norman Powell is a good trade, but like I'm thinking in terms of at the deadline. I guess that was on me for not clarifying that. The Norman Powell trade's obviously a really good trade because he's an all-star this year. You got him for Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love. It's phenomenal. I was thinking more in the vein of the trade deadline, which is on me. What are your thoughts on that Zubac trade? Nobody has the trade details yet. Can the Heat get Kuminga? I don't think so. I think it was already said that the Hawks plan on keeping him. No trade details as of yet. But man, Kawhi Leonard, who has been playing an unbelievable game this year, he's been awesome. Left all alone on that squad. Could you imagine if out of nowhere the Heat acquired Kawhi? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I did just say that, Adrian, that Barry Jackson in the Miami Herald reported that the Heat are actively working the phones trying to find a trade in sub capacity, whether it's a job, whether it's in a different edition, whether it's a trade Andrew Wiggins or Norman Powell away. We'll see if anything materializes. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath. That's for sure. That is for sure. 41 minutes until the deadline. Let's get the likes. If y'all love the Miami Heat, like the stream here. We got 777 people watching, 273 likes. Let's get to 350. Let's get to that 50% like rate. Let's get to 350 likes. We get to 350 likes. Pat Riley makes a move. It's the optimist in me, even though there's not much optimism left, to be fair. Not much left. That'd be the real kick in the balls, right? Bucks get Ja Morant. Could you imagine? I know it's been rumored. Could you imagine if that happened? God, I would freaking lose it, dude. I would lose it. $303. Can we get to 350? We're 47 likes away. You know what? We get to 350 likes before in 2 minutes, so 38 minutes is the countdown. We get to 350 likes. I'll take a shot at tequila. Got Patron in the building. Got Patron in the building. You want to know a fun fact? The Miami Heat are the only team in the Eastern Conference that has not made a trade at the deadline. We're a fucking joke, dude. Only team that has not made a trade. We are a joke. I just hate this front office. Wow. Bennedict Mathurin is in that deal going to the Clippers, so not an opportunity there for Miami. No Mathurin for the Heat. Maybe wonder if the Heat could get in there on a 3-team deal. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm giving up. I'm a broken man. I'm a broken man. I have no faith. I'm trying to see these full trade details. I don't see them. I don't see them. Well, we didn't get to 350 likes, so no shot. Sad. But as we get more trade details here, the biggest trade in the last couple hours so far. This is not the full trade. We are still trying to figure out what it is. I doubt it's just Mathurin for Zubac. But this trade just went down. Pacers acquiring Ivica Zubac. Right now, all we know that Mathurin going to Los Angeles. Yeah, I my wheels are spinning on what a Kawhi Leonard trade would look like if the Heat wanted to pursue there. Let's pull up Fanspo here. So let's think here. Harden went for Garland in a second. So Kawhi's making 50 mil. My guess in return is that they'd want Tyler Hero. Going to have to put Terry Rozier in that contract, in that deal. And then that's 57 going out, 50 coming back. So there's going to have to be another player coming back to Miami. That's around $7 million. Brook Lopez, because they don't really like Brook. So now the Heat are taking back $1 extra million. That's a successful trade. I think that's kind of what I would probably do. Someone says the Pacers got fleeced. Yeah, OKC owns Clippers pick. I would probably say I think that's fair deal. Kawhi. All right, here's the full trade. Wow. So they do end up getting 2 first-round picks for Zubac and Mathurin. They end up getting it. They end up getting it. It was rumored that they wanted 2 first-round picks in exchange for Zubac, and they got it. So if the Clippers are really in a fire sale mode and trading Kawhi Leonard, I think a deal would probably look like Hero, Rozier, and let's say a first-round pick swap. Hero, Rozier, and 1 pick swap. Hero, Rozier, pick swap, and a second-round pick. Kawhi Leonard and Brook Lopez. I don't know if they say yes to it, but that's probably what I would be willing to offer. Because with Kawhi, you have the injury concern, you have the contract concern, you're making $50 million this year or next year, but you also have that weird situation hanging over their head. Remember the weird, like, they're paying him underneath the table? Like, if that comes out that it would happen, then he could get suspended. So that's a sketchy situation that you'd be stepping into. So I don't know how high Kawhi Leonard value would be considering his age, contract, injury-prone ability, and the weird situation looming over his head, but it's hard to deny that this guy has been playing at an unbelievably high level this year. Like, Kawhi Leonard this season is averaging 24 points, 6 boards a game. And he just was named to the All-Star team as kind of like a extra player needed. So Kawhi Leonard's been really good this year. So I had the wrong stats pulled up. 27 points, 50% shooting, 39% from 3. It's just all about, do you trust him to stay healthy or not? He's played 37 games this year, so not bad. I would definitely take him over Tyler Hero, that's for sure. Considering Tyler Hero plays less games than him. We're 30 minutes away from the deadline. I don't think the Heat are making it. Couple super chats to get back to. Lawrence Frank in the final. Shout out on Sports Reviews. And then Trump. Butler broke Pat. Wants keep everyone, even Rozier. He doesn't want to keep Rozier. Like I can guarantee you he doesn't want that. Major says Hero, Rozier, and Ware for Kawhi. Would you rather give up a first-round pick or Kel'el Ware to get Kawhi? Let's say Kawhi and Brook Lopez, so Brook Lopez becomes your backup center. Kawhi and Brook Lopez for Hero, Ware, Rozier. Do you do it? Would you do that? Christian says yes. Andy, yes. Alex, no. RN says no. M. Sullivan says rather give up Ware, so it sounds like yes. Givo says, shit, let's get Kawhi. I will, no. Well, I'll be honest. I'm looking in the chat. It feels about 50% yes, no on that deal for Kawhi. Hero, Rozier, Ware for Kawhi and Brook Lopez. 50% it feels like says yes. The others say no, which means it's a fair deal. If half the Heat fans are saying yes and half the Heat fans are saying no, sounds like it's a really fair trade. And sure, it would hurt losing Ware, but you would still retain all of your draft capital to make a trade separately in the offseason if you wanted to. It's a fascinating decision to be had. Control or escape. 2 firsts for Zubac and you don't want to trade Bam. Like, you asked me I was asked what his trade value was. I said, whatever Jaren Jackson Jr. went for, probably a little bit more. But I don't think you're understanding. And that is the hard part that I'm having with you guys, is that you do not listen to what I say. No one has said they would not trade Bam if they were offered a package like Jaren Jackson Jr. right now. No one has said that. All that is said is that the Heat front office will not trade Bam. I can guarantee they will not trade Bam Adebayo. And then you take it as we don't want that. You just have hard time listening and understanding. That's the truth. I am just telling you the Heat won't do it. And then y'all act as if I'm saying I wouldn't do it. Yeah, we have a first-round pick this year. Which was because we made the playoffs last year. If you weren't aware, our first-round pick last year was owed to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But it was lottery protected. if Miami missed the playoffs last year, we would have had a lottery pick, and then we would have ultimately had no first rounder this year because it would have conveyed as an unprotected first round pick for OKC this year. But because we made the playoffs last year and our pick conveyed, we have our unprotected 2026 first round pick. So we would have either had the 13th or 14th pick in last year's draft or whatever pick we end up this year. Which you can argue either way it would have worked out. Like, let me look back at 2025 drafts. I think Thomas Sorber was the player drafted by the Thunder at that 14 spot, which was Miami's pick. Or was around 10 or 11. We would have either had 11, 12, 13, or 14. Excuse me, no, 15. No, if we missed the playoffs, it would have been 11. That's right, I forgot, because it would have been Cooper Flagg because the 11th pick moved up. Yeah, I forgot about that. Tried to forget. We would have had, if we missed the playoffs, we would have had the 11th lottery ball, and that ended up getting the number 1 pick. Now, who knows if it would have happened and that would have happened for Miami, but the 11th lottery ball won. But even if it didn't, and you had the 11th pick, you would have been able to draft on the board Cedric Howard, Carter Bryant, Derek Queen. Yakachonis obviously was there. Like, dude, Cedric Howard on the Heat. I said it so many times that Cedric Howard was one of my favorite guys. I love Cedric Howard. I love Derek Queen, too. Yeah, we picked Kaz at 20 because that was the Warriors' first-round pick we got from Jimmy Butler. So to finalize the draft talk, yeah, we have our first-round pick this year. I think right now it's 16th. Let me check. It is right now 16th. If the season ended today and the Heat made the playoffs, because they'd be in the play-in as that 7th seed, they would be picking 16th in the draft. For the people asking. $5 super chat from Crimson. Hardest part about being a Heat fan is watching every other team make moves, and this front office appears to be content with being mid forever. Couldn't agree more. I like it. You know how annoying and frustrating it is to get linked to Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Damian Lillard, all the time like this and never come away with any of them because our front office is inept at getting trade done and acquiring more draft capital so they can actually get the superstar during trades. And then because we go all in there and don't get it, we are held or here holding an empty bag of nothingness every time. And then other fan bases start clowning us. The amount of times I get clowned by my friends in my group chats, I see people clowning Miami on Twitter because the Heat didn't get a trade done once again. It's so annoying. And we got 25 minutes until the deadline. And we're probably not making a trade. Just absolutely ridiculous. Can't stand it, man. Wow, the Pacers tried to get Walker Kessler, apparently. I'm not seeing any buzz. I don't think they get a Ja trade done. I don't know what else there is out there for Miami, man. I'll bring this question up again. Will the Heat make a trade. They are currently the only team in the Eastern Conference that has not made a trade this year, between the time the season started and where we're at right now. And everybody's turning. Everyone's saying no. You know what? I'm going to start the new live poll. Will the Heat make a trade? Y for yes, N for no. It was 56% no, 44% yes originally. I think now it's going to be closer to 80% no and 20% yes. If I had to predict what the live poll is going to be, I think it's going to be 83-17 in favor of no. I mean, everybody in the live chat, Crimson, RN, Givo, Trig, Variant, Apex, all saying no. like, it's just embarrassing, man. Just embarrassing program. Trade Rolly, go ahead. Then you'd have no more content at the channel. Nobody else here at the company's a Heat fan. This channel would cease to exist. You're lucky to have me, and you know it deep down inside. You're just upset. 81% saying no. So I said 83, so we'll see. I need a drink. Got my ghost. Not sponsors, would absolutely take a sponsorship. Trade Nick for a first-round pick. The Mavericks just made a trade. Tyus Jones to the Mavs for Malachi Branham. Tyus Jones been passed around like a blunt today. Another trade that doesn't involve the Miami Heat. What do you know? What do you know? We got 20 minutes until the deadline. We got to tell you about our sponsor again. Probably the last time we're telling you about our sponsor today, and I don't imagine us staying live too long after the deadline, considering we're probably not making a move. God. Gross. All right, we're going to tell you about the sponsor, and then we'll be back talking about the Heat. Today's live show is brought to you by Prize Picks. The big game is here on Sunday, and if you want to get on the last football game of the season, get started today, and you can get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. There are so many great features on Prize Picks. All you do is pick more or less on at least 2-player stat projections, and you can cash in. Injury reboots is one that I love. If a player gets hurt in the first half and doesn't return the second half, that player won't make your lineup lose. It just gets removed, and the rest of your healthy players continue on. There's also early payouts, so if one of your players gets off to a hot start, you may now be able to cash out before the game even finishes. They have weekly specials. They have daily specials. How about this special? And it is a doozy. Max discount in the big game. Just pick more on half a passing yard for Patriots quarterback Drake May. Pair that up with another stat projection, and if you get that correctly, you can cash in. Join me and the millions of others on Prize Picks. Download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Appreciate Prize Picks for sponsoring today's stream. Under 20 minutes away from the deadline. Most recent trade, Tyus Jones going to the Dallas Mavericks and Malachi Branham going to the Charlotte Hornets. That is just another extension of the Wizards Anthony Davis trade. Oh, wow. There's just another addition. Remember that trade between the Bucks and Suns? It's now a 3-team trade as Chicago is going to get Nick Richards. So Nick Richards isn't going to Milwaukee. He's going to Chicago, and Oshme Dang is going to the Bucks. I don't know, man. Once again, everybody in the NBA making moves, having fun. Miami's sitting here doing nothing with 17 minutes to go to the deadline. I hate it. I hate it here, man. Like, I feel like after this deadline, like I just need a break. Like the Heat play the Celtics tomorrow. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch. That's how frustrated I am with this organization right now. The only thing that can save us is if we sign Lonzo Ball in the buyout market, which has a 0% chance of happening. And the only reason why it would save me is because he's my favorite player that isn't on the Miami Heat. It's not that he's that good. He's actually not good at all anymore. But he's just my favorite player, and I've wanted him to wear a Heat uniform my entire life. Yeah, probably. That's the icing on it. The Heat get blown out by Boston tomorrow, which I gotta be honest, I don't even know if I care. I don't know if I even care if they get blown out. Why? Because if they get blown out, we're gonna hopefully miss the playoffs. I'm gonna become negative Nick. I am going to start pining for the Heat to lose games because this draft class is so good. Bring me a lottery pick. Give me a ping pong ball. Could you imagine if we get a ping pong ball and we somehow get it to the top 3 and get one of Boozer, Domantas, Peterson? Like, we're going to be first-round exits if we make the playoffs. We'll be a play-in team. We'll play one of Detroit, New York in the first round, or Cleveland. We'll lose in 5 games, and then we'll be done. Give me a ping pong ball over that. I'll take a ping pong ball. I'm sick of this shit, man. Shout out Durbus. 250. What does this equate to here? Darren Peterson's disgusting. Like, I've seen people to talk about who would you rather have between the 3 of them, Domantas, Peterson, Boozer. I am all over Darren Peterson. I think he is clearly the best one. This is Dominican. I don't know what it's worth in American dollars. I'm not very good at this. I don't know. If Pat doesn't make a trade today, does he have to step down and let Spo manage the team and be present at the same time? I've said this earlier on the show, and obviously you weren't here, so it's fine. I'll answer it again. I do not think that Eric Spoelstra is going to be a good front office executive anymore. Because when you are in the front office, you have to think for the future and forwardly. Has Eric Spoelstra as a coach shown the ability to think about the future? Because the Heat aren't very good. Yet, you guys all get upset at the lack of minutes for Kel'el Ware, and probably rightfully so. He probably deserves more minutes, even though he hasn't been playing and hasn't really been that impactful to winning. Because he's a young guy, you should probably get him out there. Same thing should be said about Kasparas Siakam. Yet, he doesn't do that. So would he be able to think forwardly in the front office? I say probably not. $2 from Control. Portland better position than us. Oh, yeah. I agree. We're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot. You either need to find a way to acquire another all-star, all-NBA level guy, or get lucky in the draft, where you draft an all-NBA dude with one of your picks in the teens. It's kind of where we're at right now. And it's possible. Like, Jalen Johnson from the Hawks was drafted 20th overall at Duke. And he's an all-star, blossoming 23, 24-year-old for Atlanta. So it's possible to get a guy that good and that talented in the teens. It's just incredibly more unlikely and difficult. Are we worse than the Wizards? No. Next year? Maybe. Depends on how the offseason unfolds. We are 12 minutes away from the deadline. The Heat will not make a move. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're still going to be here covering it all. Hit that sub button. 130 subscribers away from 119. Away from the next milestone of 27K. Over 1,000 people watching. I know there's 119 of you guys not subscribed. I'm Nick Roloff. We go live for the big events, the draft, trade deadline, free agency. We go live when the Heat make a move, even though that's very rarely. Oh, man. We also have daily content. We go live for Heat games. We'll be live tomorrow for Heat Celtics, unfortunately. But we're not going to be bad enough to drop out of the play-in. That I can guarantee. That I can guarantee. Trying to scroll on Twitter here to see if we got any trade coming in. Or any rumors coming in. I don't see anything. So, seems unlikely. Apex is burning all of his shit. Can't wait to be told by Barry Jackson the Heat like their team. I can't believe they are not going to make a move. No move is wild, man. Like, actually no move. I can't believe it. I should believe it, and I should have been ready for this. But I really am stunned that there's no move. I thought this was a year where they were really going to try, obviously, to go all in for Giannis or make a change. Couldn't even flip Rozier's contract, so you cost yourself $2 million by not waiving him earlier this month. This fucking front office is so bad. I feel like I could go on an hour-long podcast bashing this front office. Just horrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is my raw reaction of my ass being depressed. Just always thinking that something is going to happen, yet it doesn't. We are the biggest joke. I say this to myself every time, but I just will never, and I really mean it this time. I really do. So you can come back to me in the offseason. I will never get my hopes up again for a move at the deadline or a trade in general. Until the news happens, like, we'll still cover it because we have to report the news and rumors. That's the entire basis of this channel, and to cover this team in the offseason too. But I will never, ever, 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 ever say on this show, I think the Heat pull a trade off and predict them to land anyone. Because until they actually do something, you can't do it. You can't do it. Elijah, I'm not even kidding. I had this debate with Jeffrey Cooperstein, who's our Mavs guy here, on who's a worse GM, Nico Harrison or Pat Riley. And I made the argument that Nico Harrison's a better GM than Pat Riley. And he said I was crazy because you trade Luka Doncic. I said he at least had a plan. And he acted on a plan. You can say it's a bad plan. And it was a bad plan. But at least they did stuff. They signed people in free agency, Naji Marshall, traded for PJ Washington, traded for Daniel Gafford, helped get them to the NBA Finals. Didn't work out. They traded Luka because they believed he wasn't good enough to get them to a title and win a title. They believed they had a better chance with Anthony Davis and some of the other capital they got back. It was the wrong choice. But they did something. Would you rather do stuff? Or would you rather just sit here and be mid-play-in? Great question. Appreciate you, Big Mike. Yeah, listen, even though I couldn't be more annoyed and frustrated with this team, I still am going to be here with you guys, man. Still am going to be here. I still will be here with you guys. As we are now 5 minutes away from the deadline moving on, and the Heat do nothing. This is fake. Fake super chat. Fake super chat. Not this guy. Dispo. At least we always have the buyout market. It's not like they have that much cap space to go sign anyone. They probably aren't going to do anything. Probably aren't going to do anything. Can you guys, for the people out there, I know you might think it's funny. Please do not put in fake trades in the chat or super chats like this. By the way, on cue, Chris Haynes just tweeted out saying the Clippers are not trading Kawhi Leonard. So, if you thought there was going to be a buzzer beater Kawhi trade at the deadline, not going to happen. 4 minutes to go. Heat aren't doing shit. Again, I hate them with a burning fucking passion. Y'all want to say I hate Kel'el Ware, which isn't true. You know who I hate? Pat Riley and the front office. I hate them. Listen, I'll tell you what. I would be much more active making moves than this front office if I was in front office, for sure. Team stinks, man. Team stinks, front office stinks. It's embarrassing stuff from this front office. Another year, another no trade at the deadline. We never make any trades at the deadline, man. Never. We were forced into one last year because Jimmy asked out. Two minutes to go. Nothing's going to happen. I fucking hate this team. Couldn't even get Terry Rozier back. Or get him out. Unfucking believable. We'll make a video on buyout targets, but I don't imagine Miami signing any. Three teams did not make a trade this year at the deadline. The Heat, Spurs, and the Rockets. There's a massive polar bear amongst those three teams. Two of them are contenders in their respective conference, and one's a play-in team. I fucking hate this team. Pat Riley needs to go. I'm sending out a tweet. 20 seconds to the deadline here. No moves. Just tweet it out. Whoever the main decision makers in the Heat front office are, they need to go. And the trade deadline has passed. Now, there is a chance that a deal could be finalized and sent in a little bit after the deadline. If you remember last year with us, we stayed live for like 30 minutes after, seeing if the Heat ended up making a trade at the buzzer that just wasn't reported or submitted. But I doubt that happened here. I doubt that happened here. I'm still waiting to see if, because like the reporters will say, hey, the Heat are still working the phones as the deadline, even after the deadline passes. They're still working the phones. You can still submit one. I'll see. As soon as I see a report that the Heat are officially making no moves, we'll start next on. Like Ethan Skolnick says, like they're going to pod it in 15 minutes, saying they're waiting for the all clear from the front office. Freaking no moves again, man. This is an embarrassing display. Well, while we wait to see if any move came in at the buzzer, a couple super chats here. Sources tell me that Pat just woke up from his sleep. Did he ever wake up? He might still be sleeping from last night. Matt, $2. Nap Riley gotta go. I do enjoy the Pat Riley nap jokes. Those are funny. Those make me smile. Those make me laugh. Well, as we wait here in the next 10 minutes to see if it's official that Miami made no moves before the deadline, if you want to get on the show, super chat. $20 super chat gets you into the Hall of Fame, as well as we do a beer bong. $10, I do 10 push-ups. We spin the wheel for 5. For my Dolphins and Heat fans out there, who's worse? Chris Greer, Pat Riley? Let me know. I have Happy Dad Fruit Punch. That's what I have. I see a lot more Pats than Chris than Chris Greer. Is this recency bias potentially? I'm gonna put it as the live poll. This is gonna be a good one. This is good. Because I legitimately want to know, who is worse? Pat Riley, Chris Greer. I saw a lot of people say Pat Riley. I'm generally curious for my Dolphins and Heat fans, because obviously if you're not a Dolphins fan and a Heat fan, you probably don't even know who Chris Greer is, and you're going to answer Pat Riley. So try to stay out of it if you're not a fan of both. I just want to know, out of the dual fans of both the Heat and Dolphins, who you guys think is worse. Right now, the live poll has 62% as Pat Riley. 62% Pat Riley. That's more than I thought it would have been closer to 50-50. Give it about 10 more minutes to see if anything trickled in at the buzzer for Miami, but I doubt it. Let him cook highlights. It's not a bad point. Pat Riley did bring this team a title as a coach. Chris Greer brought Miami Dolphins nothing. You can make a debate on if Pat Riley and what his hand was in the Big Three creation. I always believe it's more of the players that teamed up, and Miami just had the cap space and means to get it done. I don't even give Pat Riley that much credit, to be honest, for that. Congrats to Norman Powell, at least. Powell just announced on Instagram that he, I think, and his wife, birth of his child. Congrats to Norman Powell. That's why he missed those games. Dervis. As you get older, you become very conservative. Does that come into it? Do you think Riley's age actually plays a factor? I don't know if it does. I think he just is. Well, maybe it does. I just think that he might be cooked. He might be washed. 63% of live poll says yes, or Pat Riley. Super chat coming in here again as well. I want to get this one on screen. This one's interesting. It's an interesting idea here. When it finally pops up on the stream. Wow, Cam Thomas is being waived. That's a wild buyout. Or not really a buyout, or a free agent, I should say. Cam Thomas getting waived is crazy. Here's the super chat. Control front office is consulting the Magic Concho. And then we also got Maximus, Alonzo Mourning, and D Wade in the front office, or John Eric Sully. Listen, Sully might be cooking. I hope Sully cooks for the Dolphins. That's for sure. But D Wade can't do that because he is, if you don't remember, he is part of ownership in Utah. So can't really be part of ownership in Utah and be a minority owner and then be in the front office. So if he sold all of his ownership stock, yeah, Miami could bring him back in the front office. I just don't see that as something on the board. The big news in the NBA right now is that Cam Thomas got waived, making him a free agent. Not someone Miami would or should pursue. They have enough guards that are volume scorers that don't defend. So that's something that shouldn't even be brought up to you guys. No trades today for the Kings. So Sabonis, LaVine, DeRozan, Malik Monk all stay. That coming in from Chris Haynes. Could we waive Rozier? I guess, to free up a roster spot, but who cares? Luke Babbitt, what a name. What about Rodney McGruder? What's he up to? Bring him back? What about Etuan Moore? You can play some ball, Etuan Moore, I tell you what. I don't think we're getting a deadline deal, guys, as I continue to look. See if there's been an all clear. Lou Dang, bring him back. Tyler Johnson. Just name crazy Heat guys. What Kyle Guy's up to? Bring Kyle Guy back. Kyle Guy played kind of good. KZ Okpala. Shout out KZ. Called White Chocolate. White Chocolate was just in the building the other day. Dexter Pittman. Chris Silva. Shout out Chris Silva. Silva's a dog. James Ennis. Josh McRoberts. Great name. Birdman. Justice Winslow. Victor Oladipo's still playing in the G League for the Bucks G League squad. Bring him in. Why not? Shabazz. I love Shabazz. I thought he was going to be nice, bro. I mean, I was only 13 years old, so I didn't have the full grasp of understanding player development, scouting, and stuff like that. But I just watched him at UConn. I was like, this guy's gross. No way he's bad. Turns out he was. Gerald Green, dog. Mario Chalmers, goat. Shout out Rio, man. Rio got a lot of hate back in the day. Dwayne Dedman? Hell no. Hell no. Norris Cole was my go. I have a jersey and a Norris Cole. I had a Norris Cole jersey as a kid. I love Norris Cole. Shout out Norris Cole. Where did Norris Cole go to college? Anyone know that for me? I know where he went. Anyone got that bag that they want to shot in the chat? Y'all got that knowledge? Y'all know where my guy Norris Cole went to school? Who gonna be the? Oh, my guy Riggy bring it in right away. Cleveland State. That's a bag drop. Cleveland State, man. A couple of you guys got it. Wow, a couple more people than I expected. That's respect from you guys. Respect from you guys. I didn't know y'all had that in your game. Oh, man. Well, it hasn't been officially reported that the Heat definitely didn't get a trade in, but it's pretty much that as well. Pretty much that, man. Remember Patty Mills on the buyout market a couple years ago? Remember Patty Mills on the buyout market? I'm surprised Barry Jackson, my guy, hasn't tweeted anything yet. Kind of waiting for one of these tweets to come in that the Heat have definitely not done anything. But no, absolutely not on Cam Thomas. Omer Yurtsevin. Shout out Omer. Patty Mills cooked that one time, bro. That one game against the Thunder, you're right. I think he had like 18. He had like 4 threes in the first half. I'm waiting to get confirmation that Brett Siegel says the Grizzlies did not trade Ja Morant. So Ja didn't get traded, so I don't think anything happened. Nick Stauskas, what a guy. That's a great name. It's a fucking great name. I gotta be honest, there's been some good names thrown around in the chat today. I don't think anyone has been my favorite more than Nick Stauskas. Michigan sharpshooter. I brought up Kyle Guy. I love Kyle Guy. He made me a lot of money back in college. I had Virginia winning the Natty. Picked them in my bracket. So I was in like a million bracket pools. I only do one bracket every year. I do not do multiple brackets. I do one March Madness bracket and then enter it in all these different pools with friends and other things and challenges. So if I'm right, it helps me cash in. I was all over that Virginia 2019 team. All over them. Ty Jerome was crazy in that run. You had Diabate, Kihei Clark, DeAndre Hunter, was Huff on that team? There was a white backup center on the Virginia squad. I don't remember if it was Huff or not, though. I love that we're just naming random old Heat players. I love it. Been something that's made me extremely happy. It's helped ease the no trades at the deadline. Well, how about this? We're going to put a shot clock on it. Still got 900 people in the building, but I don't think anything's coming. We're going to give it 5 minutes. Because I do have to do other stuff here. I got to film a video in the afternoon period for you guys. We'll be doing that for sure. There we go. 5 minutes. If you want to get on the show, Chris Haynes now officially reporting, and so is Shams. Ja Morant did not get traded. There was interest, but no one made a serious offer. So Ja Morant not traded, which means I don't think Miami got a trade done at the deadline. I don't know who else they would have traded for. So 5-minute shot clock. We'll get any super chat that comes up on screen, like Gastron, Yakuba Diara. After these 4 minutes, we're signing off, and I'll get rocking and rolling with other stuff here at the channel. Yep, New Year, same disappointment. Nothing changes. Oh, I completely agree with you, Crimson. I've already lost interest. I already said it. That today's disgust of making no move makes me not even want to watch tomorrow's game against Boston. We're going to sign off in 3 minutes, so last opportunity to get on the live show. Subscribe, guarantees your spot there. If no super chats come in over the next 3 minutes, we're getting out of here. Another year, another day of the trade deadline with Miami making no moves. I get it. I know they made moves last year. They were forced into it, trading Jimmy Butler. When they aren't forced to make moves, they are very boring, I'd say. Unwilling to make moves is another way to say it. The worst, that's one way to say it. It's just incredibly disappointing, man. You're going to see a couple videos come out on the channel about my disappointment and disgust with this front office. I'm defeated. I have lost hope. I've lost faith. I don't have any belief. For the people that are tuning out and peacing, have a good day. I was looking at Barry Jackson, 5 Reasons Sports Network, Greg Sylvander, Ethan J. Skolnick. None of them have said like all clear, nothing happened, but 20 minutes after the fact is where I'm going to call it, especially with the fact that we already know that Ja Morant isn't being traded. It was reported from both the Shams, Chris Haynes, so it's like if they even did somehow make a trade, who would it be for? So I'm just putting context clues together and saying there's absolutely no way they made a trade. Barry Jackson, per source, Heat discussed whether to pursue Ja Morant, but ultimately decided against it for several reasons. God, unbelievable. And that's the perfect way to end our show. Barry Jackson saying Heat discussed about pursuing Ja, but never did it for several reasons. Clap it up for the Miami Heat. Another great trade deadline. Another great year of being in the hunt for a All-NBA, All-Star, superstar guy. Missing out. And then having no backup plan and making no moves. Handicapping you in the future. And forever being stuck in mediocrity as a play-in team. Clap it up. Clap it up. Just an absolute display from this front office, man. They're awesome. They're so good at their job. They really know what they're doing. This team has been a fucking joke over the last 5 years. If this team didn't make a random playoff run as an 8 seed 3 years ago to the NBA Finals, this would be one of the biggest missed opportunities in one of the lowest 5-year periods of Heat basketball you can think of. This team fucking sucks, dude. One more super chat here at the buzzer from that rant guy. We'll get that on screen and then we'll sign off. Yeah, seriously, where would this organization be if if Jimmy Butler didn't basically say, I want to go be a member of the Heat in free agency? Because there was a sign and trade. Like, Jimmy wanted to come to Miami. Like, if he never came to Miami, imagine how shit we would be the last 5 years. Probably horrible because we have a terrible front office. Shout rant guy, you see the reports the Bucks wanted Bam. I didn't see that report. We'll talk about it if that's true. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. What a joke. Joke. All right. That's going to do it for today's live show. Appreciate the people that tuned in and hung out with us. A lot of people tuned in. That was good stuff. You guys have been fun, even when we were getting heated about Kel'el Ware in the first hour. We'll be back live on the channel for Heat Celtics tomorrow. We'll video out later in the afternoon today. We'll also have a video out in the morning as well. So even though this sucked, we shouldn't be surprised. And we're not going anywhere. So make sure you stick around because we're going to continue to bring you content on the daily. Peace out.